I've tried really hard not to talk about Jesse Lingard. I really have, but I mean, he's everywhere in the news. Look, I'm taking it. I will just work on the assumption that this is not your only means of contact with any West Ham news. If it's not, and you use social media, other websites, other YouTube channels, which I assume you do, you'll know Jesse Lingard news is everywhere. We're still in for him. We're not in for him. He's going to reject us. We've made a bid. We think he's going to accept it. I mean, whatever way you want to look at it, you can probably find a recent story over the last 2 or 3 days to confirm whatever it is you want to believe, because there is such variation in all the things being reported. I'm not going to dwell too long on it because I am actually sick of it. I mean, I really am sick of it. And I think the reason I'm sick of it is not just because it's dragged on for so long. I'm more than happy to deal with a transfer story that drags on for a while, but it's a saga. And also, I feel a little bit as though he doesn't want to join us. I've said before, I made comparisons with him being a bit of a tease as far as David Moyes is concerned, and I will sort of stick by that. I think if the stories are true that we are offering him a contract, we have offered him a contract, I think, do you know what? I think just offer him a contract and then give him a deadline and walk away. And price it at a price that we can afford rather than this ridiculous price that seems to value Jesse Lingard as a premium Premier League player. Now, don't get me wrong, I've not changed my stance on it. I think when he was with us, he probably was at that particular point one of the best players in the Premier League, but he's barely played for a year. And I do believe that the price should be adjusted accordingly. If what he's saying, I say what he's saying, if what the rumours are saying that there's a 180 grand contract waiting for him somewhere else, good, go and get it, go and sign it. Good luck to you. I mean, really, honestly, I'd just say that and I would just walk away. I really would, because I do worry and have worried for some time that we get so caught up in this in trying to get a Jesse Lingard deal over the line that we don't get other deals over the line. You know, if you're regular watchers of the channel, that's what I thought happened in the January transfer window. I thought, as the last transfer deadline day bid would suggest, that we were sort of convinced that we'd get Jesse Lingard on loan or something, we'd be able to do a deal we couldn't do, and as a result we got left with one player too few, and you never know. One additional player could have been the difference between a semi-final and a final, or whatever, one additional place in the Premier League. I don't want to get caught out again doing the same thing, spending so much time concentrating on Jesse Lingard that we miss out on other targets. And actually, when I was discussing yesterday the Danjuma story, now it wasn't not my story, and it was obviously just reporting what had been said on Talk Sport, but very much they said David Moyes has other transfer targets, Armando Broja and Jesse Lingard. So, I don't think that's why we've missed out on Danjuma. I don't know, it's now become puzzling. We're having to really try and sift through and try and work out, separate the wheat from the chaff, really, in terms of these stories. It's clearly, obviously, one of these stories, Jesse Lingard, is true. The most latest one today, as I understand it, I've not read it. Knees Up Mother Brown reporting that apparently he's going to reject us. I mean, if that, look, don't shoot the messenger on this one. Obviously, let's be fair on that. But I mean, it's been quite clear that he was going to reject us for some time, and as I alluded to in my video 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he ain't interested. This player has no particular love for West Ham. He does a little bit of virtue signalling every so often. He'll put a crossed hammers emoji in his Twitter feed or Instagram feed or whatever. But if he really wanted to come to West Ham, he's had a lot of opportunity to really try and push it through. And I just don't think it happened. I just think we're just the last choice. We're the barrel scrapings, really. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be a good signing for West Ham. But I also think that there was a bit of love in between him and the West Ham fans, which has probably been soured slightly now. Don't get me wrong. If he joined West Ham, scored in his first game back, we'd all be singing Jesse Lingard, such is the nature of West Ham, well, not West Ham fans, football fans. I'd be the same. But I don't think there's quite that same level of desire from us. Basically, I don't care. If he doesn't sign, you know what, I just wish we'd draw a line under it. In many respects, I wish he would go and sign for somebody else, because I'm sort of sick of it. And there we go, and that's another 4 minutes discussing bloody Jesse Lingard. Anyway, there are other stories, maybe a little bit more positive. Actually, before I get to Youri Tielemans, let me just discuss the comments from Manuel Lanzini. Now, a lot of the time, it's not even just West Ham. I'll tell you what, I will call this one Paul Pogba-itis. You go away back to your home country and you basically say a load of stuff which gets twisted. Well, it doesn't get twisted. You basically say a load of stuff Paul Pogba goes away to France. There's a load of anti-Man U stuff. Then comes back to Man U and he says, "Oh, something got lost in translation." It happens quite a lot. It was quite nice to see Lanzini go back home and say how much he was looking forward to coming back to training. Looking forward to coming back to West Ham, to seeing the players, to seeing the coaching staff, how much he enjoyed how frequently he played last year, how he feels that he's overcome his injury problems, and he's looking forward to the new season and hopes and expects to play quite a lot. And I think this is really good. And I think particularly, going off the back of the Jesse Lingard thing, if a deal like that doesn't happen, I think we're all right in sort of central attacking midfield. I think Fornell should be playing there rather than on the wing. I think if we keep Benrahma, he can play there. Lanzini plays there. You've got a choice of three, whoever's the most in form. Crikey, you get another proper central midfielder. You can even chuck Souček up there for the late run into the box and the headers and whatnot. And then we can concentrate on getting a left winger, which is what I think we need. So I was really pleased to hear that, I've got to say, from Manuel Lanzini. Before I talk about anything else, and particularly Youri Tielemans, this video is sponsored by the OneFootball app, which you can download by clicking that lovely link below. I don't know why it's a lovely link. It's probably no different to any other link, but you click it, and what it does, it will announce and invite you to install the OneFootball app onto your phone. At the point of you doing so, it'll ask you which team you support. You say West Ham, presumably you support West Ham, and what it will do is it will go around, it'll aggregate from all the newspapers, all the websites, all the West Ham news, put them into one place for you, be it injury news, be it transfers, fixtures, friendlies, Premier League season upcoming, everything you need to know that has anything to do with West Ham is on the OneFootball app. Best of all, it is free. So, Youri Tielemans, this is a decent story. Well, that's a decent story because I like the nature of what it says. West Ham are in pole position to sign Arsenal transfer target. After a disappointing season, Tielemans appears to be searching for a new move away from Leicester this summer. The Belgian midfielder has only 1 year remaining on his contract, and Leicester are being forced to sell him rather than let him leave on a free transfer. This is unpalatable to Leicester. You can understand why. Arsenal were previously the favourites. This is what this article is going on to suggest. But basically, because they signed Fabio Vieira, Tielemans is not going to be wanted by them now. Okay, so let's put 2 and 2 together and try and come up with 4 on this one. Quality Premier League player. At times last season, I mentioned Souček. I thought we were lacking somebody who could really put his foot on the ball and sort of dictate play. And in many respects, sometimes when Lanzini plays there, you notice the difference. I often when we do our player ratings on Patreon, I'll often say that Declan enjoys playing alongside Manuel Lanzini. They're both happy to sort of lend each other the ball. But Lanzini can't play there all the time for reasons that I've already possibly explained in this video. A bona fide proper central midfielder in there is important. Now this guy can really see a pass. He's an intelligent, a really intelligent footballer. He's got a touch of the Clarence Seedorf's about him, as it was a player who I greatly admire, certainly. I understand that Arsenal being ruled out is quite a big thing. I just think he would suit our style. I say our style, suit our needs perfectly. He got very incisive ball. I mean, how many times have you seen him pick out Jamie Vardy, who is a quick player? Now, I'm not saying at the moment under Brendan Rodgers, Leicester play like West Ham. Clearly they don't, but I do think he has attributes which would suit our team very well. Whether he is physically imposing enough to be of interest to David Moyes, I don't know. That being said, David Moyes did buy Mikel Arteta. I mean, he did for Everton. That's why Arteta had such a good career in England, because David Moyes plucked him away from it. He is not adverse to picking a smaller, more skillful player. As can be seen, he signed Pienaar, didn't he? When he played Leon Osman, who wasn't a big player at all. Trying to think of the other ones. Was it Kevin Morales? That was another one. You have to excuse me. There's actually no door on the man cave at the moment, which is why you can hear next door's dog barking. The man cave is undergoing some extensive renovations at the moment, which I'm hoping will be ready for the start of the season. Anyway, back onto Tielemans. I think I don't want to dismiss this out of hand. Then we bring into it the arrival of Mark Warburton. Having a chat with Gio about it, and Warburton is someone that I know a little bit about as well. And Gio was wondering whether that might sort of change the ethos of how West Ham play. It might change how maybe we might go a little bit more possession based. And I just wonder if maybe if that indicates us moving in a certain direction, then again Tielemans would certainly suit that style of play down to the ground. I really like him. I think it would also be a statement signing if we could sign this guy. But Arsenal have been ruled out, all right? So hold on a second. So let's just have a little look at that. So Arsenal have been ruled out. Okay, so West Ham in play, and that's... Okay, well, what about the bigger ones? Will Tottenham sign him? No. Man City? No. Man United doesn't look... It looks like they're going to get Frankie de Jong. But certainly you'd think he'd go to Man United above West Ham. And then you start ruling out some of these clubs. I don't think he's going to Chelsea, and I don't think he's going to Liverpool. With that, I'd say that with that in mind, Liverpool do keep their transfer business very, very quiet. Very quiet. They're really good at it, and they just sign a player, don't they? But you start looking down the league, I don't see too many teams. In fact, I'm not sure any of the teams that finished above West Ham are looking to sign Youri Tielemans. If that's the case, he wants to stay in the country. You put 2 and 2 together, you come at 4, and you think, well, hold on. If he's going to leave Leicester, he doesn't want to stay at Leicester, and he starts looking at teams that finished above Leicester last season. You have to come to the conclusion that West Ham might be in with a shout.